But in regards to Ruby or Serena, I guess, I had a thought. You know, when I was like 6 years old, the 3 years probably that I could remember or really were accessible to were my entire life and were important to me. But now that I've lived so many years after that, trying to access what happened during those times seems not necessarily insignificant, but harder to do and resonate with than more recent memories. I wonder if Ruby will ever get to the point where the life of Serena will want to be put behind her and for her to more focus on her present now. Trust me, more than anybody, I understand that a life lived with that much pain, you're living way more years than what you actually have because of that trauma. But I also understand how you can have resentment towards that trauma and pain, and through that resentment and pain, there could be a feeling that Ruby gets eventually of, okay, well, I put that behind me. I'm in a new life now, and this is what I'm doing now. And maybe that could potentially even upset Aqua, that Ruby's moved on or is trying to live her own life and do things differently, you know, and Aqua's still haunted by the past and what has happened to him.
I really like a few kind of ideas that you were bringing up. The idea that as we get older, some childhood memories start to fade. And so when you brought that up, I was like, wow, I do wonder if as they get older, they have less and less access to the memories of their previous lives, or less and less ability to almost relive them.
Not because of like lesser importance or anything like that, but just how lives are lived.
How lives are lived. And at some point, will it almost become like a dream to them? And so that was a really interesting thought. I do also want to say something else that you were kind of talking about, an idea you were kind of talking about, was this possibility of this question of, will Ruby, will her past life affect how she's currently living? Like, obviously, we get a very surface level, oh, she seems to be trying to live her best. Well, it's not really surface level because we get kind of the flashbacks of why, but it's still very, I'm gonna try to be this super flamboyant, excited, happy idol. But I don't think she's truly worked through her trauma of her past life. It seems like it could be very possible that she's easily breakable, that she's fragile, actually, and that she's creating this exterior of almost a lie of this really excited, confident character, if you will. And what could her actual, if she hasn't released her past life, how could that affect her actual dream of becoming an idol in this life, and how could it affect it? You know, if she's holding on so tightly still to it and those feelings that she had, is it safe to say, or could you even say, that she's not truly living in the moment here? There's just some questions that can be talked about. Like, obviously, it's really easy to have a lot of deep when we're talking about Aqua, but I think there's a lot of deep with Ruby too. I think
there's potential to go down that route, because I completely agree with you. Like, I think that Ruby has a very interesting perspective in this. I wonder, in terms of that lie, that trying to live that other life, how she very rarely had the knowledge we do of how introspective I was in terms of those lies, right? And it seems, at least on the surface to us, that Ruby is very just grateful, thankful, living the most of my life that I've been blessed with, you know? And
it could be that instead of lying for others or lying in hopes that it becomes true, it could be that Ruby is lying in hopes that it becomes true. It could be that Ruby is lying in order to protect herself from her past life and make sure that, you know, maybe to hide that away so that she can fully enjoy this. It's just a really interesting kind of place to dwell in and delve into. And I think going forward, I'm excited in hope that not only Aqua's character is shown in a deep life in this connection of reincarnation, that Ruby also gets that time and attention.
I hope that she does, because I could also see who was the character that told us how much Aqua's changed. And when he changed, it was Ruby. And if Ruby's aware of that, part of her disposition and her optimism could be in hopes that it would help her brother, you know?
There is this Ruby is also very, very aware and they make sure in the show to give reality checks. That there's a lot of reality in this, which is really nice to have it in this kind of conversation with lying and production and characters and idols. That she and us, the viewers, are very aware of the reality of the entertainment industry. She knows that her mom was murdered by a stalker. That is not news to her. She knows that agencies can be super sketchy. She knows that it's going to be hard and that sometimes the idols don't always make it. Like, she's fully aware of all of that.
How interesting is it that there's so much that mirrors real life? How interesting is it that characters who don't have that same disposition as Ruby and I almost like are in disbelief and look down potentially on those who do? Because they have to constantly remind them with the reality of the situation. Don't you think they already know it? Mm-hmm. Don't you think that they've realized that and continue to go on?
It's like you're underestimating them when you bring up the reality of it.
But like, it's not like it's like they don't understand it. Like to have that knowledge of reality for a normal person is enough to make them realize, okay, that's not the route that I'm going to go down. I'm not likely to do it. But they lack this understanding of genuine hope and that will not falter and not change. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I know that. It's more admirable because of how often they're reminded with this gloomy reality.
They're willing to put themselves in the position to be heartbroken.
Yes.
And that is, like, I think one of the most livingest things ever is to willingly put yourself out there, though everyone has warned you of the repercussions that could possibly happen. Mm-hmm. But, there is also that, like, chance. And there's this difference is Ruby, even with the reality, is aware that she could get her heart broken and this could possibly not work out. But she's also aware there is that chance and she's going for it. And then Aqua's the opposite. He's killing that chance before it can even possibly happen. Yeah. He's like, yeah, no. He's like it's like optimist and then like someone who'd probably identify themselves as a realist but might be a little more towards the cynical pessimist. Yeah. But obviously for reasons. Yeah. He has reasons.
Yeah. So good. My last thing I want to talk about is, I could be wrong with the name, Miyako. Mm-hmm. The mother in this situation, right? One of my favorite characters in this entire show, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I didn't expect, the manager to leave, but she has not only taken the role of a single mother, but as like a boss-ass bitch who's going to run an entire company too.
She's obviously done well too in terms of being a mother. Yeah. Because from all of her flashbacks of raising Ruby looks incredibly happy to be with her. And it also does seem like Aqua trusts her as well, even on a friendship level. Aqua was an older, person when he died than Serena. Yeah. Serena was 12. So to her, Miyako kind of fits as a motherly age for her. Yeah. But to Aqua, he could almost maybe have her on a friendship level, but there's still trust there with both of them. That they look at her kindly and that she is a mother to them and they trust her. And I find that to be really beautiful. And it's really awesome when we remember kind of her introduction as a character into this story, which was this this young woman that was so focused on marrying this handsome young star that she willingly married someone she wasn't that into in order to hopefully get a divorce and find a star that wanted to marry her, and was willing to like hurt people in order to get that by, posting Ai's pregnancy information. And now to see like what she is now, like she's single. She didn't get to marry that young actor. She obviously decided to take the reins of the company. Like, it's clear that her husband at the time, ex-husband,
he was really sad about a dome and not being able to go to it.
And she decided, she was like, I'm a boss-ass woman, boss-ass bitch, and I am going to raise these two children. And I am going to be CEO of this company. And I am going to be awesome. And I'm going to put a roof over our heads. And I'm going to be supportive of their dreams. And I'm going to be their friend and their mom. But I'm always going to remind them about their mother. And I'm always going to talk to them about their mother.
Is it a little... Is it a little pessimistic and self-destructive of me to be like, I hope there's none of that divine messenger living in her head still? Like, I'm hoping that she gets, like, moral dessert, you know?
Which is a part of it, but it's almost like the reactions and the things that make her happy. I mean, in what we get of the characters, what they view internally in their mind. I mean, how she viewed all these moments with Ruby. Yeah. It's like, it almost dispels any of that doubt that it was just because of the divine messengers.
There was just one line, and I think it's talking about something else, but it was when she was talking, the longer I do this job, the clearer it becomes to me. Miracles like that don't happen twice. The reality is things just don't go that smoothly. Besides what? And then she, like, stops herself. Never mind. Like, I was like, that's what, like, made me think back
so
to...
what I took from the besides
Yeah.
was her remembering Ai's death.
I think you're right with it.
So I think the miracle was Ai's career and how much she kind of took off as a star.
Yeah.
And how kind of seamless it almost was.
And even
for
when
her.
that happened, it still resulted in...
And even when you have someone who is, like, a born-to-be star... Mm-hmm. It can still end horribly.
I agree with you, but that's what triggered that thought of me during the episode. I was like, I wonder if that's ever going to come up again. But oh my god, I'm loving the series so much.
One last thing.
Yes.
Kana. We get her at the very end.
Excited.
This personality that we're getting a glimpse of now, I just gotta say before we end this, I am really excited to see who she is now, because the personality we got in her, she literally touched Aqua.
Yeah.
If I was going with what I thought her personality would have been from the previous interaction, she would have never been like, oh, so happy to see him. She would have been like, oh, it's you, you know?
See, I agreed, like tsundere.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I expected. But deep down she might be happy, but she's not going to show it
outwardly.
Acting?
I don't know.
Okay, they animated her eyes in a very emotional way that I didn't feel like was misleading.
Agreed.
And yeah, the blush can be misleading and all that, and maybe she's a great actor or whatever, but how they animated her eyes when she turns around because she, like, hears the name. I was like, and the reaction when she finds out he didn't actually join.
So to me, it was, yes, it was genuine. I'm with that. It's not like as contrasty, like cynical or like mean, like acting, I mean, but I'm wondering if she just has this like ulterior motive of, okay, you need to be in the acting class so I can prove to you that I'm better, you know?
I mean, there could still be that in her be like, I mean, okay, if she grew up thinking of him as a rival, of course it's going to be devastating to her if she finds out, like, this is the person she chose to push her in her career. You know, she's probably been, like, watching anything he's been in, which from the director, it sounded like he was in a few more other projects as a kid. And even we kind of got him acting in kind of what looked like his middle school self. So she probably has been keeping up with everything that he's been in. She probably admires his acting skills and really wants him to be an actual rival to push her to be the best that she can be. And I am just very excited to see, like, who she actually is now and what is genuine and what is a lie.
Yep, I'm with you. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time. But I'm wondering if she just has this, like, ulterior motive of... But I'm wondering if she just has this, like, ulterior motive of...
But I'm wondering if she just has this, like, ulterior motive of